From deep inside the belly of Tim Hortons Field, underneath the stands, the Forge Audio Network presents The Captain's Log with Kyle Becker and Mitch Houlihan, presented by Bench Brewing.
Podcast number 3, season 1.
Season 1,
three, bud.
Captain's Log.
Just giving people what they want. Someone said, well, actually, it was our last guest, Mac. We did an interview the other day, and I said that at some point, and apparently she called me out right away. Apparently, I say that a lot, and now it's making me self-conscious.
What?
I say giving the people what they want a lot.
Oh, yeah.
She just jam me up, jam me right up.
That's like the switching gears, all the like transition lines.
Yeah, that we picked up in our media training.
Yeah. All right, let's get into topic number 1, the York game. Military night, flyby night.
It was a good flyby.
Yeah, that was the flyby.
I think Kev was saying it in the old group chat. No, he actually called out what plane it was.
I don't remember what it is.
Don't have
the
game
old
notes.
C-147 or something.
Yeah, big
the old
body.
C-47.
Big body, strong flyby. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was sweet. All right, into the game though. Let's give us your thoughts.
The old game thoughts, huh? Well,
another result ruining us night.
Yeah, away she goes. It was a tough one. I think it's obviously stinks when you score 3 goals at home. Having a great time. We had a great crowd. Donut box was looking pretty packed. It's nice and loud in the first half. Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. It gave away three stinkers that we wish we could have back. It's the way she goes, buddy.
Way she goes. That first goal, Borgie.
Yeah.
I mean that was just a nice goal. That was just a
great.
nice goal all around. Well worked.
Yeah, it was sweet. Alex coming in, hitting the old diag. Boys had a real sharp first touch, and then just kind of like the old cutback. Something we've been working on in training. The old in-swinger from the outside in with a little late run to the back post. Showed off a little bit of the turbos, not a big deal.
It was a nice finish. I was pretty shocked. It was great.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep the stick on the ice there and make connection.
Yeah, you were just crashing the net, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
Borgie put it on a platter.
The second he hit it and it was coming on I 100% through my, I was thinking, just go laces and smash the shit out of it. And it's going to go side mesh, and everyone's going to do this is the greatest goal of all time. But no, you just got to make connection, put her on the net. It's going to go in.
Yeah, and it just wouldn't have gone in if you did that.
Yeah, 100%. I knew. It would have gone on Cannon Street. And everyone would have been like, look at this jabroni.
Borges is stacking up the highlight reel this year too.
Yeah, I think he would be the first to say it. I think he had a little bit of a slow start. Ball wasn't really bouncing his way. But I mean, it's one of those ones where if you just keep doing the same things over and over, the right things over and over, eventually it's gonna start swinging in your favor. I think he's been one of the guys in the group who's been very consistent in terms of how he shows up and handles his business. So it's good to see him getting on the score sheet.
Give us a little more about the game. Where do we go from here?
I mean, I think one thing that was funny, and our fans have been fantastic, but obviously there's not that much cover in this stadium. So the second it started raining and towards the end of the first half, there's like a mass exodus, and you could hear everyone screaming, I gotta get in fair play. I mean, sitting in the rain stinks. I would never do it either. So I'm not judging it. It was just I had a nice little look up and just saw everyone running for the thing like Godzilla was coming or something.
Yeah,
but
the wind and the rain in the donut box.
The tale is old as time. This thing is a vortex, and she was real windy that night too. Yeah, but yeah, no, I think it was I don't know. It's tough to say. It's one I think the boys wish we could have back. But I think the big thing is that anytime we've conceded, we've had like a strong push to come back and score a goal and either get ourselves ahead or level it back up this year, which I think in years past we'd kind of just roll over a little bit. So we just gotta get that full 90. It was something we were speaking about going into the game, and obviously it's a little unfortunate, but a draw is huge. I think we've had a great start to the second half of the season, where we got 3 wins, a draw, and a loss. So we just got to keep this going. This is a big one here on Saturday. I'm hoping for a nice little turnout. I know we're doing signing some Audis after the game, signing some babies' foreheads. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So we got the full teams doing autographs after the game. So ideally we can get a big result. Everyone's going to be buzzing. Bring out the newborns. Borges will sign their head.
Yeah. Yeah. This weekend.
Yeah, this Saturday.
That was getting pretty close to like the post game interview talk.
I know.
That was pretty boring, to be honest.
You said you wanted more from the game. What do you want me to say?
I don't know. Well, talk about your pregame.
The pregame. Oh, I mean, this is pretty neat. I mean, going into Calgary's game, I think I busted like 3 pairs of shoes in a week, and all of a sudden I had nothing. So the old supply chain's jamming everything up. Didn't have my size in,
Yeah,
in
everyone's
Nike.
talking about the supply chain.
Everyone's talking about the supply chain, jamming everything up. So I had the old in-laws were coming into town this weekend. So a little quick pickup, brought over some boots for the kid. First time wearing a pair of shoes and got a goal and an assist. So basically,
Yeah.
I think I'm a new pair of shoes guy again now.
Yeah. And you, I mean, it's probably a red, goal assist in a red, but you had goal assist in a yellow. A little Gordie Howe hat trick. That was not bad.
I mean, this isn't going to surprise too many people who know me, but thank God we tied it up as quick as we did because the red was probably coming.
100%. 100%. I literally said that when I saw it, but yeah.
Here comes the putter throw.
No, but yeah. That was because that was supposed to be your guys' first game in person, right?
Yeah, we had a little speed bump the night before. That was another thing. I guess you have kids and you can't really do the old pregame rituals. Rituals?
Rituals. Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about, not the new shoes.
I mean, I just gave you something that you didn't know. So there you go. But yeah, Friday was getting home, on the way home, like 5-10 minutes away. Got the old phone call, and old Sonny Boy was picked up a little fever. So that was a nice, yeah, ripping the old Band-Aid off parenthood there. That's a nice
Way she goes.
That's a little scary. So he's real fresh, so you still got to take him. I guess you got to take him over to get him to see a doctor like ASAP just to make sure everything's all good. Here's something I didn't know, and this is just, maybe this is common knowledge. I don't know. I just assumed there would be an easier way to do it. But did you know babies just give blood like adults? Like it's just a needle in the arm.
What do you mean?
Like they just poke around for a needle, but like they got no veins because I don't know. They're like
How
the
else would
smallest
they
thing.
do it?
That's what I'm saying. Like it feels
What, you mean
like
same equipment?
like they give him the old tie off, start slapping the arm, and it's like this kid's
I
just
mean,
he's a little round bowling ball. Like the guy's got no veins.
well,
So
I'm
it's
sure
just
he
it was
does. I'm sure he has some veins.
we obviously know he's got veins. I'm just saying it was a tough thing
All
to
right,
watch.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
pinning the guy down, and he's just getting all poked and prodded. It
yeah,
wasn't a great feeling. He's just staring at you like you've done this to me. This is your fault.
yeah,
So that
yeah.
didn't feel too great. That was a nice
Well,
little curveball on Friday. You're just gonna go home, take it easy,
so you were
get the
nice
old
and rested.
stormies. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Just gonna take care of the bod, drink some water.
yeah. Well,
Incorrect.
you you thought it was going to be his first game, so you performed. That was good. I said to you last week, if you didn't score when he was there, you're a deadbeat.
Yeah,
So you came
I mean,
together.
yeah. We were working together, but he still kind of looked at me a little shifty-eyed when I got home, being like, "Can't even get 3 points, you bozo."
The I'm glad you brought it up because I was actually when you got the yellow,
Yeah,
have you watched the highlights?
yeah.
It probably would have cut it. I don't even know if it put the year yellow in the highlights, but I wanted to talk about our guy Hume.
What did he say?
He's so good. And like if I heard him like correctly on your yellow, he said like that was too soft of a yellow to get. He's like, yes, it should be like laid out like proper yellow or
Yeah.
like which yeah, it just would have been a red if you did that. But you gave him the old Kyle Becker trip.
That's just how I tackle.
Yeah. But no,
Sweep the leg, walk away.
but that's what it was. It was a bit of a cheap yellow, but it was
Yeah,
because it was tied. Should have been a red. Then it would have been the proper hat trick.
yeah.
But Hume's sick. I love him.
You like
That's
him on the call?
I love him on the call. He's so like he's just honest, and he's just like tells it like it is.
It's good. That's good to see. I mean, that's the other cool thing about the CPL. And this is probably going to be boring for you because, oh, we can't talk about the league. But I think the cool thing that probably, I mean, maybe people have thought about it, I don't know, is like that's just like another avenue for players in this country, you know? Once you're done playing, to stay in the game, stay involved, have a big impact. And that's something that we've never had. Like, I'm a big grievance that I got is the old refs in this league, but the fact that this league exists, like down the line, maybe there's going to be some guys who just love the game and want to stay in it, and they're going to take up refereeing for whatever reason. But the fact that like they've been around the game for longer, that they're going to have a better idea and a better feel for it. So I don't know. It's good. It's good to see Hume doing it. I know there's a few other former players who've gone on and got in the booth, which is cool. I think it's a lot harder than it probably seems to be on the call.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we can actually talk about that now too.
Yeah, it's like
How
podcasting.
awful, yeah,
This is
how difficult talking is. And like live, trying to say something, you like it just doesn't come out properly.
oh,
And you got to
100.
make a call, like the color guy. That's a tough spot too. I feel like it'd be pretty like the play-by-plays, whatever. But popping in with just like trying to chime in with some good points,
Yeah,
impossible. You'd screw it up every time.
100%. And I think for a lot of the time, I thought they'd always be like at the game, like in the box watching upstairs. So they're just in the studio watching the same feed that everyone else is watching.
Which is tough, yeah.
Yeah.
The live, yeah, yeah.
So you got to
But
be making comments on like potential PKs or like bad calls or whatever, but you're getting the same
yeah,
view as like the Joe
yeah.
Schmo at home, which is wild. It makes it a little bit more impressive.
And that's why I love Hume because he's like he's just he's just making like bold calls, but he's been like right. He just sticks to it. It's great. But he'll like, if the replay changes, he'll retract. But it was yeah, he's I don't know. That was a takeaway for sure, Hume.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
good dude.
remember when we saw him in England?
Yeah, Tranmere
I
Rovers.
actually I was trying to think of that. I actually have the most vivid like image of Hume when we were like uh it was after the game, right?
After our game.
Yeah, like
Yeah, yeah,
when he
yeah,
came in the change room and talked to us,
yeah.
and it was just like piss and rain, and he was just like big post up against the wall. Like I don't know. I want to know if it was actually like how I remember it, but
I think
yeah.
that's pretty accurate.
And
Feels
then he
pretty
came
accurate.
in,
Yeah, give us a
and he
little
came
chat.
in after yeah, gave us a little locker room talk.
It's unbelievable. Just paying it forward.
Another how old would he have been then?
I just want to know if it was before or after the red Sean Desmond like side hawk that he was rocking in the for Canada that one time. I think it was before then. But yeah, we would have been like what, 9 or 10? So that would have been 98, 99.
No, 2001.
That's when it was? We were 11?
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
The England trip.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
that's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, Yumi, it's doing good things. I like him on the call. Should watch a
That's good.
couple
No, I've
highlights.
heard him. He's good.
Um, yeah. Oh, back to Borges too. I forget if I asked you this or not, but did you ever ask him about that banner at the random
DuPont.
at the random garage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had no idea. That was
He
the
doesn't
craziest
know?
thing of all time. I'm just assuming it was just a Portuguese guy, a little friend of a friend, maybe.
But
It
it was
was
like,
too weird.
yeah. And I mean, just to explain it for the folks, it's like DuPont and like what, Ossington, and there's like this just random like garage, like auto shop with a huge like draped banner of you and Borges in the window up
Yeah,
top. I could have just stopped in and asked, but
nah,
I guess we'll never know. It's not up
we'll
anymore. That
never.
was like 3 years ago too. It was like right at the start of the CPA. It was like
It,
his when he was first year, after first
yeah,
year.
it was a picture of 2019, and it was up there for a while, but yeah, no mas.
Yeah. Um, all right, I got a question for you. So I don't know if you heard any of the feedback from the first couple episodes, but we were right. We had one listener,
Just
and
raking in the numbers, huh?
and he sent in a question for us.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is Joey from Ottawa. Says, what did you see from the jump to the MLS? This is actually a question that was like, this is a good topic too. He actually did this. He said he did send this in though. Uh, talk about the jump from NCAA to MLS,
Yeah.
and then what you're seeing from Canadian U Sports CIS guys now. They're making the jump to CPL.
hmm So for me, I think the biggest thing was just like the longevity of it, and the idea that, well, I mean, it's kind of something we spoke about with Eddie. It's like the second you go from either any sort of amateur academy, whatever, to the professional level and playing with guys who have now been in this game for 5, 10, 15 years, whatever it may be, that you come across in a locker room, is like it becomes a job very quick. And it's just the fact that like things are just heightened. Like everything you do is heightened. Like a bad pass in training, and like poor habits, and like doing the right things over and over. All of these things just means so much more, and it's like it's just a job. So like your professionalism is like thrown out of whack right away. Like when you're in a team in school, for example, like we talked about it too. It's like you just go in, you're going to play that game, and everyone's just like, all right, we're getting after it right after that final whistle. Like it's all about 3 points and partying, because you have a little bit of a celebrity being on a sports team out of school, which is great. Like you're just a part of something. It's fantastic. Some guys have aspirations of being pro. Some guys are just like, this is my way to get a free education, whatever it may be. Some guys are like, I just want to be a part of something. Like have no real, they don't really
Yeah,
care about the sport. They're just like,
it's still not your main.
yeah,
It's not your
it,
job. It's not your
yeah.
livelihood.
But yeah, kind of jumping all over the place. Like that is also the unbelievable thing about like this sport. It can open a door to you getting a better job and giving you those opportunities. You know what I mean? If you get into a school and you go the NCAA route. But as I said, the biggest thing for me that I struggled with was just the longevity of it. So I hit like August, and when you're coming from the NCAA, like you have like a 3 month season,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like a
yeah,
million miles an hour, and you're always on, and it's great, and it's like the best when you're in it. But then it's just like a flash in a pan, and
yeah,
then so when you get to being a pro and you're not necessarily playing week in and week out, you're not necessarily one of the guys that like the coach is relying on you to perform, and you're not getting all like the accolades and all of the stuff, like the ups and downs. You hit like in August and you're just kind of burnt out, and
yeah,
you're like, holy, all right, like this is the real deal. Like you're waking up for a training session, you know you're probably not going to play on the weekend, and again, like that makes it sound like it's like, oh, poor me, I gotta go to practice and like that's my job for the day. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like it's a
yeah,
little bit of a thing you kind of got to get over, and you got to get over quick. And I think that is the same thing that these U Sports kids will go through. Like the longevity of the season, the travel, the demand, all of those things. And especially when you're coming from an environment, if you're getting picked from the U Sport, you're for sure one of the best players on your team, if not the best player. And then you're coming in and you might not necessarily see the field for however many months or however many games. And to just keep showing up and almost being like a whipping boy at times, it's just mentally exhausting. And like there's so many times where you're probably like, screw this, I'm better than that or whatever. And then the tails all this time, the coach looks over and like, look at this guy's body language. Oh, he doesn't want to be here. This is all those things that are so easy for people to like, that checklist that kind of just like pushes you down the pecking order. So it's like you got to be on every single moment of every single day for 6 months, and you might not get a reward, but that first day of the 7th month, it's like, yeah, you're in the 18th, and then you're like, okay. But and then you got to go again, and you got to reset, and it's just that stuff is that for me was a huge one, because it wasn't like I wanted to be there. I never felt like I was like out of my depth in terms of like the things we were doing or the concepts we were doing. It was just, you go from being a guy to you're not like the main guy anymore. And then it's like, you're not seeing the rewards that you had, which gives you like the confidence to be the player that you were, gives you the sharpness because you have the fitness of playing week in and week out. And when you're not, it's so easy to be like, oh, training ends. You're like, screw this, I'm going inside. But now the fact is like, you're not as fit as the guy who just played 90 on the weekend. So what are you doing extra? You're not as sharp as the guy who just played 90 on the weekend. So what are you doing extra with the ball to maintain that, to keep your level high in training? And also just like keep that like that confidence, that positivity. And that is something that I think I definitely struggled with early on.
Yeah. And like, you're 17, 18, go into a pro like atmosphere or whatever, 19, 20, like a lot of these guys are. Like when you're the guy for your entire life and then someone tells you that you're not playing, like you don't have that experience to like to respond maturely. Like, of course you're going to be pouting and like, you just think that that's normal. Like, I'm not playing, so I'm going to be like, but
100%. Like, and you just start doing little things that you're like, oh, I'm going to show him. I'm going to show the coach. Watch me. Like, I'm going to chuck away this extra run at the end of the training because I'm going to show him that I'm bad. But it's like, sweet, you showed us
self-sabotage.
Yeah. And like you think you're doing it because it's like, oh, I'm going to get him back and he's going to see that I care and I should be training. But it really just has the opposite. It's like, look at this little baby throwing his toys around. And like that's something that you can be told a million times, but until you kind of like go through it and you reap those benefits yourself, then you'll never know. Like, and it's hard. And sometimes it feels like it's the loneliest, like harshest thing. Like, oh, why is it always me? I'm getting picked on, or why am I always getting singled out for what I'm doing? But the reality is like, again, something to reiterate we spoke about with Eddie is like there's so few things in this world that you actually control in this sport. And I think it kind of is the same thing for any profession. Like so many decisions are out of your hands. And then it's like, oh, how do you go about your business? How do you do that at the best of your ability every single day? And when you break down like professional sports, it really comes down to like work ethic and body language and your attitude. That's all you got. Everything else, like, because you can come out and have the worst day of your life and be like, I cannot make a pass. If we played for 3 days straight, I wouldn't be able to create a chance, create a pass, create a shot on target, whatever it may be. But I can decide how much I want to run. I can decide how much I want to work for the guy next to me. And if you don't do that, then it's like, what is the point of you? Get the hell out of here, you bozo. Like who's Kyle Becker? Get out of here.
Well, I feel like it's a pretty easy common denominator. The people that actually make it and are good, like it's not talent. It's obviously not talent.
And like I was watching, I think City had like this road to like the Champions League final thing that was on DAZN the other day. Yeah. And what's his name? Haaland scores 5 goals against Leipzig, and he's doing his like post game presser, and he literally is like, it's 99 or 97% mentality. And you're like, yeah, you just got 5 goals in the Champions League, like semis or quarters or whatever it may have been, and like it's just mentality. It's like, how easy would it be to chuck? They'd be like, all right, I scored 3 goals in the Champions League final. Take me off. I'm done. Like my day's done. I got my bonus, whatever. And he just keeps going. He's like, no, I'm going to score again. I'm going to score again. And it's I think the most ridiculous thing, I think it's even easy to be like, you just take the foot off the pedal because you almost like feel bad for the other team. But it's like, why? Step on their throat. Kill them. Like, score 6 goals. Score 7.
I mean, that guy's – did you see the Did you see the clip? It looks like a post game sometime too, and like it was on like Thierry and whatever the panel, and like Holland was doing a post game. Or it was the end of the season, and then they were like, someone kind of just like thought it was going to be like a joke bit. It was just like, Thierry, do you have any advice for Holland? Like, like even though he just scored like the most goals ever and just like killed it, and Thierry was like, yeah, like honestly, I think you could like with the ball at your feet, you could turn better. You'd score way more goals. And they're all like laughing. And Holland was like, why are you laughing? Like that. Yeah, I think I could definitely do that. Like he's just like,
Yeah, he's a
he's
machine.
insane. That guy's going to
Yeah,
be
he's
that
unbelievable.
mindset. That is
Yeah,
crazy.
all he wants to
I
do
don't
is
know.
score goals,
Yeah.
and like you hear like top strikers all the time like speak about it. And it's like that's like you have to just keep working. Like there's moments for sure where like it's pure luck and confidence, and like it might just bounce off your shin and go in, whatever. But like that is a result of the guy putting in an absolute shift every single day. Like you don't score as many goals as he did just on sheer talent. It's just
Yeah.
it doesn't happen. Like the man is a
Yeah.
freak. He
Yeah.
just wants it.
Yeah. I think it's just like the classic like maturity when you think it's just like the bounces aren't going your way when you're younger, and then when you grow up a little bit, you're like, probably could have done a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%. That's the worst. It's like, oh yeah, maybe after that game that you stunk, rather than
Yeah.
going to the King's Arms in Oakville and just dropping a $900 tab, you could have just maybe gone to the gym and put in a shift.
Yeah. Debatable.
Tomato,
All right.
potato.
Um, I feel like we're probably close to time. We should say that we're not in studio because it's a busy week over at the Donut Box.
Yeah,
Lots of resources going towards Grey Cup Festival announcement, which
yeah,
went well yesterday, I hear. That's going to
but
be electric. We need the
for
boys
sure.
to turn it around.
Yeah,
We need
that
some
would be
home field Grey Cup action.
that'd be great. No, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome to see. I mean, yeah, as you said, Reese, the boys are getting stretched, so they had to box us out.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, you guys know about playing championships at home.
Yep.
That
I
was good.
mean, yeah, we lost, and then the Ticats lost at home
Yeah.
as well.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That, that was a tough one,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and then they shut off the heating in this building, and we'll never got it on again.
yeah. No Wi-Fi either.
Gotta have
Uh,
wins.
did you see the Matildas went out today?
Yeah, I actually caught the end of the game when I was walking in this morning. Uh, they
That rip?
England won 3-1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That rip. I forgot why I liked Sam Kerr. She's a legend. But you remember that clip that like guy ran on the field and she bodied him and got a yellow?
no,
Like someone like in a Chelsea game, like some idiot ran on. He's
yeah,
just like taking his time, and she just ran over and smashed him. It was
come
great.
on.
Just bullied him. Yeah,
She's just
he fell all weird and all awkward. It was the best, and then she got a yellow for it.
come on.
Yeah,
How is that a thing?
I don't know. Like pitch invaders, like security guards are allowed to try to murder them.
Yeah,
Like
why
why
can't I
can't?
play?
Well, just a little trip or yeah, a
Wasn't
little
that a
check.
wasn't that a thing in the NFL last year too? Like a fan like did something and one of like a wide receiver just like bodied him, and the guy was trying to sue him after. It's like how can you
Yeah,
run on the
there's
field, be the asshole in the situation, get bullied, and then cry wolf? Like how does
yeah.
that
You
work?
just if you're
Isn't
gonna
there just
you
common
gotta
sense? Like it's like
you waive your right to
yeah,
anything when you run on the field. It's
that's
all fair
insane.
play.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
a
sweet.
yellow card. Like, what if it was a clean? Like, come on, what?
Yeah,
You can't apply like the rules to some guy running on the field. I
I
mean, I
think
guess
it
you probably easily can, but
no, but it should just be common sense. Like this guy's doing something dumb. He's interrupting someone. The
yeah,
security guards were a little far away at the time. Old Sam Kerr is her name. Is that what
yeah,
you're saying? Yeah, she
yeah,
just stepped in, took matters into her hands, and boom, done, sorted. What's the
yeah.
problem?
It's like the Cantona drop kick in the stands. Perfectly fine. No, that's the opposite of what we were saying.
Yeah, I think that was. I still, there's still some part of me that's like, not bad, but
Yeah.
that's a little too far.
All right. Well, last week they said keep it to a tight half an hour, and then remember to thank the listeners. And we did an hour, and we forgot to close off.
Are we
and
done
thank
right
the
now?
listeners. So, yeah, I think we just wrap it up. Do you have anything else? Oh, you had that story from Sunday you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we can save that for another
We'll
day.
save it? All right, yeah, we'll
Save it.
see if it's still as good next week.
All right.
All right, that's it then. You want to do the close off?
Yeah.
Closing?
To all to the loyal fan of Captain's Log, thank you for listening.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next week for episode 4. We got a big guest next week. I think it'll be a good one.
This was The Captain's Log with Kyle Becker and Mitch Houlihan, presented by Bench Brewing. The guys will drop another episode sometime, whenever they get to it. In the meantime, we would love and appreciate for you to like, follow, subscribe, click on the little bell, do all the things in all the places you get entertained, and you'll find more of this type of content. And that also means we get to spend more time together on the Forge Audio Network.